Welcome to a camera comparison that I think is going to be very close, very interesting, and I think it's three of the top dogs right here. Now this is a blind camera comparison, so please do not spoil this for everyone else. Don't post in the comments which phone is what out of A, B, and C. Just to also point out that I'm cleaning the lenses every time. They're all on their latest firmware updates, and I have bought all three of these phones here to remove any bias on my end. Okay, I'm not part of Team Pixel. None of these was gifted to me for free. Image stability, which you think is the best here. Two of them are 4K, 30 frames per second currently, and one only does 1080p with a front-facing camera. So as I move around, are we going to see any of that judder that sometimes comes through? How are they handling the bright sunlight here? And then stability running. Which one looks the best? Let us know in the comments whether you think it's A, B, or C. Now with 4K 60, are we going to see a big difference in the quality? Now focus across all three, A, B, and C, just seem to be fine. Now just pan around, not too fast. Are there going to be any of those typical judders coming through with these Android devices versus the iPhone 13 Pro Max? And now I'm going to run up these little stairs here and hopefully not trip over. Which one do you think is the steadiest here and has the best audio quality? Ultra wide camera, so 4K 30 frames per second, because one of these phones does not do 4K 60, so I have to use 30 for this. As I move ahead, which one do you think is the steadiest here? What has the best electronic and, well, there's optical image stabilization on one of these models here too. Wind noise, it's a common issue. Which phone's handling that better? So a short jog. You can clearly see stabilization on two of these is very, very different to the third. And now I'm just going to pan around here. We're going to see any of that horrible judder coming through, especially with the sun now starting to set. Very difficult conditions. And now our zoom camera as well. The maximum zoom that the video application will let us do at 4K 30 frames per second. So I'm pointing here at the Tower of Iron, Torre de Hierro, and trying to hold it as still as possible, but you can clearly see that one of these phones is at least doing a much better job with that electronic image stabilization while locking on and just holding it there, and one of them is shaking around a little bit more. Low light video now. So I wanted to point out here that one common thing that we get with these phones is that you do see a lot of light flare, lens flare from the lights. Okay, so it's happening on two of these phones, one of them quite bad, and it seems that one of them, no, we're not getting it at all. I don't know why that is. Well, actually I do, and I'll let you know later on. So walking ahead, how is the stability again across all three? Now the lights in the background should be blue, not purple, but blue. And the street lights here, at least in Spain and, well, most of Europe I think, are yellow. Okay, so if it looks white, it shouldn't be. It should really be yellow at this part right now that I'm looking at the old building in the background. And then this street here in the distance, again, those street lights should be yellow. So jog ahead. Which one has the best stability, A, B, or C? Now let's move over to the ultra-wide camera. Now very difficult, these conditions now in low light, especially for our ultra-wide cameras. As I turn down this street here, it should look, as I mentioned before, yellow, because the street lights here are yellow. So if it looks white or it's off, that means our white balance isn't correct here. Light jog ahead now. Clearly see that one of them, the image stabilization, is nowhere near as good as the other two. And our front camera video, very difficult for these tiny little sensors. Is there one though that is clearly better out of these three? Again, which do you think it is? It's doing the best here with the front-facing vlog video in low light. So just moving around, are we getting any drop frames out of these? And remember that 2 have 4K resolution and 1 only 1080p with the front-facing camera. And moving over to our stills now. So the main camera here, my cat Vera. So we've got the white fur, looks the best, the white balance on C. However, when we do crop in, you can see we're losing some details in her white fur there with C. So to me, it's probably B, but A, the white balance is off. So if I did have to select a winner here, I know it's all subjective. I think I would go with phone B, camera B here, I believe is the best. This shot is extremely difficult for any phone to get the red hibiscus. So C is overdone. It's a little bit too oversaturated. A, the color almost spot on, but it's somewhere actually between A and B. However, when you crop in 200%, B certainly looks the best to my eyes. C's got a bit of clipping there with those reds. A little bit there too. So overall, again, I think B is taking the win here. Another hard one. So all 3 look very good, but I must say that B has the more correct color. But the background blur, I think, looks more pleasing on A. C's also good, quite subtle, but the background blur with camera B looks a little artificial to my eyes and just a little bit too contrasty, but they are all good, all 3 of these. Portrait mode, so this is again with the main camera still on the rear. So just between B and A, I believe that B has the best stitching. C, I'm going to just write that one off straight away because I don't like the colors. I think it's too warm. A, the stitching not quite as good as B, but it does have better colors. So it's a bit of a draw between A and B. Of course, A having the colors, B having the stitching. Front camera selfies now. There is a big difference in the megapixel count. Now, I do believe that C, while it is good, the colors are off again. So really it is B, and B captures a lot of detail, a little bit too dark, maybe some of the shadows in it. And then A is just a bit washed out and it doesn't even blur the background at all. So I don't know what's going on there. Now this shot is a very good test of HDR. Looks like a photo in a house magazine, right? But take a look at the seat on the left-hand side. B and A do the best there. C, I'm going to say, is definitely 3rd place. And A, if you take a look at the light coming in through from the curtain, it captures this a little better. So really, I think A did it, but B has the colors, I think, the best here out of these 3. Ultra-wide cameras. Now, all 3 do a very good job here with this particular scene here, but take a look at the details we have in the sky. It's either A, which I think captures the best there, amount of details in the sky with those clouds, and C probably the worst. When you zoom in, you can see that in the shadows that certainly C doesn't capture this as good as A or B. Look at the tower, I think that's best on B. So if I have to pick one, I would say that B is the best, but perhaps a little bit over sharpened. What do you think? Ultra wide of the outer castle wall of Denia. I think that the colors look the best on B, but B for me is not the actual best photo here. Take a look at the grass in A and compare it to C. I really think that A overall has the best ultra-wide shot here with this particular scene. All 3 have optical zoom cameras. What you're looking at first is an ultra-wide. This is just to give you an idea of how they zoom in. So this is no crop. Okay, the zoom, maximum zoom on all 3 of these. And you can see that A clearly has an optical advantage. Now at 200% crop, the difference between B and A, well, it's the shadows. It looks a lot better, I think, on B, more details in the shadows. And now this is a 400% crop. And see that the megapixel count is definitely helping with B, and C falling behind a little bit. So overall, I think B has the best zoom camera, even though it isn't the greatest optical zoom of the 3. Another zoom test. So this Daredevil kitty, which is up 2 stories high. First, we're looking at the native zoom, okay, maximum that they can do, optical on all 3. This is now a 300% crop. Now, very close between A and B, but I'm going to have to give A the win because it has the more true-to-life colors as I saw it when I took this photo. Low light now, so things are starting to get very difficult. Take a look first at the tiles on the ground. A captures this the best, and then the clock tower and the council building in the background has the most detail. But then B actually has the more true to life colors when I was there taking these photos. Now C has very bad lens flare. You can see the artificial lights reflecting. It's not UFOs. And B, you can just see it there. A is absolutely unaffected by this, as we saw with the low light video. Definitely trading blows here between all three of them. So no, there are no UFOs in the sky. In both B and C, we can see the artificial lighting, well, the street lights reflecting that horrible flare effect. Don't like it at all. Kind of ruins the photo. So the sky in C looks the best, but then in A, the ground looks the best, and it should be yellow, not white. So both B and C kind of get the colors wrong there. But when you look at the buildings in the background, it's between A and B definitely. If I have to pick the overall general image for the details and then the building in the background capturing those artificial lights a lot better, I have to give it to A. Now this is a very hard one to pick the winner because they are so close. They've all got very good amounts of detail. It really comes down to me, the lighting. What looked more true to life? Different color science between all three of them you can see, but A came out the best here. That is really what I saw with my eyes. Maybe not quite exactly the same, but closest to what I saw, closest to true to life there. So for me, I'm going to have to give A the win. Our zoom cameras at their maximum optical focal length here, and no, I don't like any of them. I think they're all terrible. A lot of noise in A, even more noise in B, and then C has, again, the UFOs in it. It's a very common issue with this particular mobile C. If I have to pick a winner, I don't really want to, I would say, probably go for A, but I don't like the sky in A. And this is where one camera here with low light ultra wides clearly dominates. A definitely better. And you know what? Those colors, they're pretty much spot on how I saw it. The yellowness to it, as I pointed out before, the yellow street lights. It's also the sharpest looking image. Both B and C are a bit blurry. And yes, I did hold the camera as still as possible, but it is all handheld across all three, of course. What about bright lights like this pharmacy sign here? You can see that on C, it's actually inverted and reflecting. If you look closely, just above that health cross, you can see it, the pharmacy text there. So neither of these is really good. Out of all these three, I don't particularly like them, but I think if I have to pick a winner, probably go with B here. Low light selfies. A, I think, did the best job here, just capturing my face the best, which is what you want. Now, C's got a lot of noise to it, B has noise, A also has noise. So they're all very noisy, but the megapixel advantage on phone A definitely helping out. Finally, my summary. What do I think? My results are vlog video, it's definitely between A and C. Phone B has absolutely no electronic image stabilization with the front-facing camera and only 1080p video. Also the worst audio. The best audio overall, I'd have to give to phone C, except when it's using the zoom camera. Rare video stability, very close between B and C. Most of the time, I think B was the most stable, except for night shots. That ultra-wide A and even the main camera A tend to look the best there with low light video. Now, there was no lens flashing or reflections, lens flare, any of that showing up because of the special coating on camera A. The colors in video, phone B was most of the time more true to life as well, that it would capture the street light yellow better than the other two. Now our stills, I think that most of the time phone B had the best day stills, especially when it came to bright colors like those flowers and the HDR shots. Definitely, I think it was just slightly better at getting more details in the shadows. And they all traded blows, all three of them at times. Selfies and portraits, phone C, too warm, for my liking anyway. It's a very easy phone to guess and spot. Phone B, I think, again, was the overall best for that. Low light, the ultra-wide, just like the video, it clearly dominated. It absolutely destroyed the other two. That megapixel count and the little gimbal it's got, A definitely And for the big reveal, hopefully you're not skipping to this first. It's going to ruin the fun for you. And don't ruin the fun for others, please. Please do not post this in the comments. So phone A is the Vivo X70 Pro Plus with the Zeiss lenses and that special coating on them. Phone B is Google's Pixel 6 Pro. Phone C is Apple's iPhone 13 Pro Max. Did you guess the correct ones? Well done if you did. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it and my effort that I put into this, please give a thumbs up, like it, comment, and if you want to be really awesome, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.